Welcome back, everybody, to a new episode of Tech Times Exclusive. Today, we're talking to Adam Gogolski. He's the Director of Worldwide Marketing for Vuzix, and he's here to tell us about a few of their products and one that really, from what I understand, stood out at CES. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. So, yeah, initially, right, let's just jump right in. Just tell us about Vuzix as a whole.
Yeah, so Vuzix is based here in upstate Rochester, New York. We've been in business for about 27 years. Came out of the optics industry. We're still creating augmented reality and OEM solutions. So, our latest product is this slim, sexy form factor, the Z100. But we have a whole line of smart glasses. Our portfolio spans from, ULED, micro display, occluded the M400 to the M4000, which is a waveguide. And we have several other waveguide products. The Blade, which is sort of a sportier form factor, and then Shield, which is sort of like the bigger brother to the Z100. They all have built-in processors, cameras, speakers, the whole works. It's kind of like wearing a Mac truck. Whereas this is the lighter form factor. It does not have a processor, but it can do a heck of a lot, and it ties in via Bluetooth to your phone. So, in a sense, we have the largest smart glasses portfolio that able to cover, a variety of different enterprise use cases.
Okay. Well, yeah, maybe we can expound on some of those use cases, right? Like for the people watching us, like, the word smart gets thrown around a lot these days, right? You have smartphones, smart TVs, smart refrigerators. Like, so what exactly does it mean when you say smart glasses?
Just like your smartphone, the smart glasses have apps that run on it, So, I mean, the glasses can do pretty much anything as long as you have an app for it. So there's an app store, you download apps, and then, if you're in warehousing, you might have a LogistiView or a TeamViewer app. In medical, you might be using TeleView or Help Lightning or something like that, and on and on. So depending on the use case, you download the software that you need, and then you are basically hands-free, heads up. You're getting maybe it's work instructions. If you're in, heavy equipment repair, for example, instead of, carrying your iPod or a manual or, looking at your cell phone, now you can get those instructions right there in your eye. Remote support is another big one. Guys out in the field, they get stuck. You don't want to have to send another guy out there. So you can loop in the expert who might be back at the office, who's done it a million times and can take one look and kind of tell that more junior person what the next step is to kind of get them along. And then, they're off and they're doing the next thing, all from the comfort of their own office. In medical, we have surgeries happening. There's not an hour of the day that goes by that surgeries aren't taking place with the use of augmented reality. So, there's just a variety of different use cases, and more use cases are coming up every day. It's amazing what the market is teaching us about itself.
All right. Well, yeah, let's talk a little more about the Z100s. Can you explain some of the key features and functionalities of the Z100?
Yeah, so I mean, I think the first thing to point out is really the form factor itself. It's only 38 grams. So a typical pair of glasses that you or I might wear is like 25 to 50. So these guys, they fall right in the sweet spot. They're made for all day wear. They are ruggedized. So these are smart safety glasses.
Okay.
But as a consumer, you can wear these out of the warehouse or out of the office or wherever you're doing, and you're not going to stand out. Like I said, I mean, when we were at CES, we were blowing people's minds with, just being able to do, real-time translation or captioning on the glasses. Imagine, I mean, where you're from, you can go out, talk to anybody You could understand any language with these glasses. It's a game changer for travelers, for the hearing impaired and whatnot. But so I'd say that the biggest differentiator right now, or number one, is they're light and they're sexy and they look great on anybody. But from a spec perspective, prescription ready, they have this kind of like forever battery. It runs for 48 hours, so continuously. So these things, I mean, I don't know about you, but wearing a smartwatch, you got to charge it all the time, right? So you forget about it sometimes. Whereas the glasses, just grab and go. You might have to charge them once a week, maybe, but it's pretty amazing how long they last. And what they're providing you is heads up notifications all the time. All your Slack messages, all your texts, all the notifications turn by turn, it's all up there in your eye. And from a work perspective, when you're in the warehouse, sometimes the tools that these guys are using are quite analog, I guess I would say. They don't have very good visual displays, right? So now we're able to integrate with IoT technology, put those readouts, whatever you're checking, right in your eye, so that we're basically increasing productivity and efficiency and looking great while we're doing it.
Right. That's one thing, yeah, that I feel is very important for this market, right? Because in the past, the technology maybe has been there, but it didn't really fit into something that someone actually wanted to put to wear. It kind of goes back even, I think, maybe as far as the electric car, right? Like originally, no one wanted to drive a Prius. It wasn't aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So now, like your glasses, like if you didn't tell me, I would just assume they were just sunglasses.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, and they could be they're non-tinted versions as well. I don't know if I said, but Vuzix is an OEM. So these glasses are based on our ultralight OEM platform. It's completely configurable. So, you were by the booth at CES this year. You saw the Ultralight S, which is a sport form factor, so, you're on your bike, you're a cyclist, fitness enthusiast. Maybe sunglasses aren't right for you. So there are different form factors that Vuzix can configure. And one of the really cool technologies that we just rolled out is this Incognito option, where a lot of times, if you're familiar with smart glasses or any kind of head-worn, it creates a bit of a glow. I mean, in the military, this is a big deal. But even as a consumer, you're wearing glasses, and it's visible that there's a waveguide in front of you because of just that little bit of glow. And sometimes, if you're close enough, you could actually see a bit of what the person is viewing. So you can imagine, from a privacy perspective, that's not optimal. So we're rolling out this Incognito technology, which actually makes the waveguide glow disappear for anybody else. So like you said, it looks like you're wearing a pair of glasses, and with this technology, nobody could tell that you have a waveguide, even if you're receiving those texts and viewing things on the glasses.
Oh, all right, yeah, because I mean, now technology is so advanced that the next logical step is, yeah, it's great, it does all this, but how does it look, right? Like that's super important to consumers, and because it can do, this could, it could do anything and everything, but if it's not nice, then like no, nowadays, no one is like, because like back to the smartphone, right? Or even the cell phone, even before with the original cell phone, right? It was the brick with and people used it because, but now we're so accustomed to technology. It's like, I want it to look good, and those glasses look great.
There's an expectation out in the market, I mean, with the media, you see all these movies, and there's the bar is really high for augmented reality, and it's nice that here we are, we're finally catching up to the market expectation. it's a huge step. It's a huge step. And we, here at Vuzix, we're really on the cusp of rolling out something that is remarkable, and it's just going to get smaller.
Right. Well, I think most people from, if I may make an assumption, most people from our generation, right? My first video game was what, Mario, I guess, maybe Duck Hunt or something. And then, we gradually went through all these games where eventually like the heads up display was so nice in a game where people started, as a teenager, it's like, man, I wish I had this in real life. Right.
Yeah.
And now we do, thanks to Vuzix.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And, to your point, workers, whether you're a consumer or you're in the workplace, nobody wants to, as Paul says, look like you just stepped off the Starship Enterprise, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the warehouse or what. You want to have something that looks good. And these glasses are enabling the next step so that you can kind of come out of the warehouse. You can be an Instacart picker. You could be working in retail. You could be a barista getting heads up orders with the glasses. And nobody knows the difference. It's just making people more and more effective at their job.
So I have a question about, okay, so a minute ago you were talking about like the translation, right? The real-time translation. Now, how does this appear in front of your eye? Is it like we would imagine subtitles on a television, or maybe like a scrolling of a teleprompter? Like what's the aesthetic with that?
Yeah, so it's a 30-degree field of view. It's monocular, so the waveguide appears on the right lens. Again, it's OEM, so that could be configured. So yeah, it basically the words will write themselves right in front of your eye. It looks like it's kind of floating maybe 18 inches away. And it's using your cell phone. So this is not a standalone device. Whereas, the Shield or the Vuzix Blade, these things have their own operating systems on board. The Z100s are using your cell phone. So the phone's listening and then instantaneously putting via Bluetooth the translation up into your eye. So again, we were doing this at CES. Japanese, Chinese, you name it. The languages are available. If there's a language pack on iOS or Android, then it can be used by the glasses. So it's pretty amazing. And for the deaf or hearing impaired, it's really a game changer. So like 25% of adults now have some form of hearing loss. And the sad statistic is it takes on average 7 years before somebody with hearing loss decides, yeah, maybe it's time to get a hearing aid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, the technology like this enables those folks to say, maybe I could hold off, or maybe in tandem with these other decisions for assistive technology, I can have glasses that do that real-time translate. And of course, there's also the user preferences. Some people like to read things, some people like to hear. So, it's all about the user, and we're trying to give more choices into the market.
Yeah, I mean, the word game changer gets thrown around quite a bit, but I think this is definitely a game changer on so many levels. Like, just the safety for one, with the I worked in a field, a very hands-on field. And when I say hands-on, I mean like physically, like doing things with my hands. And like sometimes, I should probably maybe not admit this, but sometimes we forego the manual because like I have to go get this book and I have to like search through, like I'm busy, and that is a safety concern, and also a production concern, right? Like what if you mess something up, or whatever. So this, even from that aspect, right, that's going to increase efficiency, I think, productivity, limit mistakes, from lazy people that don't want to go get a book. And then, like you said, with the hearing impaired, and even as far as just like, I love to travel, right? Like I've been all over the place, and sometimes I decide where I want to go based on the difficulty of the language barrier, right? Some places I just don't want to go because I know for a fact I'm not going to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
So this is this is
It's super common. Yeah, I mean, there's been studies done, and one of the top reasons that people don't travel is because it's that awkwardness, those awkward exchanges that really kind of hold people back from all sorts of incredible experiences that they could be having.
right. I can imagine these glasses becoming, you do as soon as you walk out, right? We all do it, the wallet, phone, keys.
Yes.
Right? I can just imagine a wallet, phone, keys, glasses. Okay, let's go.
Yeah,
right? This would
that's
become
right.
definitely. I can imagine this becoming just a part of because why not? Why not? Right?
Exactly. I mean, 65%, I think, of the population already wears glasses. So, I mean, the market is right there. It's waiting, right?
Right.
And when you talk about prescription lens, transitionals, all of those technologies and optical options, they're gonna find their way. Right now, we were talking earlier about how Vuzix is leading the way on the prescription side, actually coming out with prescription waveguides, a very tricky thing that nobody else is doing. But again, we see it as it's table stakes. If we want mass adoption of AR, you got to have these things. People want choice, not only form factor, but how they're actually adapting to your lifestyle.
Right, absolutely. I'm sure. Luckily, I don't need glasses. I'm sure there'd be nothing worse than having to switch between,
Yeah. Yes. Indeed.
probably, yeah. So I want to ask you about the interconnectability with the smartphone, right? So for the Z100 specifically. So you're wearing them, and your controls basically is this kind of like a remote for
Yes.
what's happening here?
So the way that the app works, in particular for the Z100, is you can turn on the notifications, for example, just like any other in your system settings on your phone. You turn on what notifications you want to be getting. So if you want to see your work things, then maybe you turn on Slack. You want turn by turn, you want your calendar notifications to come up, you turn on Outlook, just like that. And then, there's, of course, real-time mapping. So, if you're integrated with a map tool, you're going to a new restaurant or wherever the case may be, you can get turn by turn right there in your eye. I mean, we've all had the experience of being in a new place, right? And staring at the phone, looking like a tourist, right? Now it's just discreet in your eye. The glasses are telling you where to go. You keep your phone in your pocket. And then, of course, with captioning for the hearing impaired or translation for the rest of us that are listening, it's really the app is designed to make it easy on you. You just configure it and then you go, and typically those are the settings that you need to customize for how you want to use the glasses.
Okay. Let's see. I'm curious now about, because I feel like one of the industries that's really adopting, I guess, or really using augmented reality is maybe the real estate market, right? It's kind of like, you can just take your client on a virtual tour of, several properties. Is there a way, and if I'm getting ahead of you or myself, please, yeah, just let me know. But almost to where I give you the glasses and I somehow show you what I want you to see. You know what I mean? Like, okay, put these on, and now this is the foyer or whatever, and then I'm just seeing it as you are presenting.
Yeah, it's funny, Chris, because 2020 changed the world in a lot of different ways. And with the COVID restrictions, a lot of people were just looking for a different way to have those social distancing restrictions still active, but be able to continue business as usual. This is not a new story. We've been talking about this for years. But yes, things like real estate, or maybe you can't get to the car dealership. So you have somebody wearing the glasses in the car, looking at the tires, giving you the options. Even appraisers going through houses, facility walkthroughs, for example. If auditors are coming through, instead of sending a whole team to walk through a facility for a maintenance inspection that has to happen quarterly or so. Now you can have one person with the glasses on, snapping pictures. Everybody else is remote. So, imagine the travel costs saved if somebody has to fly in to do a facility inspection every few months. So now they're just back at their office. They log in. Maybe you're using Zoom. I mean, all of those typical teleconferencing and telecommunications apps work on the glasses. And of course, now we're getting beyond the Z100. We're talking about the Blade or the M400 or some of the bigger workhorses that we have in our lineup. But if you're doing an inspection, everyone else can just say, "Oh, pause. Let me see that." They can zoom in on their side. There's annotation, so they can be writing on the screen. And of course, all the documentation is saved up to the cloud. So it's extremely efficient. And from a green, kind of cost saving perspective, that's why we saw the big shift in 2020 and continuing on.
That's a very interesting. I didn't realize that it went that deep, right? Like, because I mean, I can just imagine again, like the cost cutting, the low guy on the totem pole that has to actually take the flight. It's like, you're new, bro. You have to take these and go to the thing. Yeah. And it's such a futuristic image, and it's not futuristic. It's now, like what you just described sounds like something from, I mean, even Star Trek didn't think of this stuff, right? Like this is, and they were supposed to be, the future, and we are light years past that with, a group annotating on it's honestly mind blowing. But could you provide some examples of, successful use cases or deployments of Vuzix wearables? And like, I'm sure you have some feedback like, oh, they did this for us. We use them to do this. Because I know there were some demos at CES.
Yeah, so this year, I guess I'll start with medical. We did like the big, you were mentioning the old Mario games. Remember Operation? The old board game. So, we did basically brain surgery and heart surgery right there on the floor at CES this year using the glasses. So we have several ISVs that are producing software that, basically integrates into the glasses, tells you the angle maybe to position the drill at, or, gives you step-by-step protocols for, docs getting ready all the way into and through surgery. You can imagine rather than having interns crowd into a room, now you can have remote viewing of a surgery from the surgeon's perspective. So like I said, there's not an hour of the day that goes by that some kind of augmented reality surgery using Vuzix glasses isn't taking place. On the logistics side, again, we have some very large clients that have already adopted the glasses for pick and pack, but also for, just basically maintaining the robots that are rolling around the floor, right? So, there's a sort of a dual component here on the logistics side, but also, on the maintenance and the, equipment upkeep and troubleshooting as well. And then, of course, the field service, guys working the line, doing repairs on heavy equipment. Like I said, just to be able to call in that expert for a 2-minute session, that's usually all it takes, right? To just get you past where you're stuck.
Right. I imagine insurance companies love these things, right? Like it's, like for surgeries and things, right? Like you can see, like this is making everything. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, sure. That's great. Yeah, please more. It's like it's like a virtual assistant on your face, kind of. It's really.
And now with the AI kind of coming and finding its day. You know, you could have an AI overlay. So, you know, it's the glasses, you know, you mentioned smart, they're getting smarter and smarter all the time with AI.
Yeah, I think these are borderline, maybe smart's an understatement for yeah. Excuse me. I don't know if it's been coined yet, but you know, I imagine the next step from smart would be genius, right? Like it has to be, you know, these are, you know what I mean? Like we're kind
I
of,
like
you know, we're kind of going past smart at this point.
that.
You know,
I like that.
smart is what? Originally what? Connectability, right? Or um yeah, the apps kind of it can do it can do more things, I guess, than just phone or text, right? I guess that's what determines whether or not something's smart. But this is going beyond smart. This is this is yeah, you can have it free of charge. I'll let you take it if you want. But let's see. Well, looking ahead, you know, what is there any advancements or developments that we can expect to see from Vuzix?
So, I mean, I think what's exciting about the Z100 is it's a developer's kit. So we're taking the onus off Vuzix and saying, hey guys, you know, hey world, you know, you have ideas, you know how to, you know, we're giving you the tools, sort of like open source. Here's the SDK, you know, Android, iOS. You develop the solution for you, for your use case. And you know, it's very interesting to see, you know, what's starting to surface here when you put the keys in somebody else's hands, if you know what I mean.
Right.
But you know what's coming is, you know, just the further elaboration of our OEM capabilities. So lighter glasses, more certifications, you know, full color is on the way. You know, this Incognito technology that's hiding the light from the waveguide. Those are the things, you know, prescriptions, you know, all of those things are coming to fruition. And then, you know, because this is a dev kit, you know, we're going to see what's going to come in the next, you know, 6 to 12 months.
Right. Nice. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna follow Vuzix, and so if someone was to want a pair, how do they go about that?
They can just go to our corporate website, vuzix.com, and order. It's for sale. We launched these at CES this year, so you know, prescription ready. There's, I believe they market for $7.99 USD.
Not bad at all. That's wow. That's really affordable.
And it really, you know, it's very much like, you know, if you're having hearing difficulties, to be able to get back into the conversation, you know, because a lot of people they kind of hang back because, you know, you can't follow the back and forth. Yeah, this technology is really empowering people, and you know, the stories that already we're hearing in the market from people are exceptional. So, you know, it's nice to be a part of, you know, a company that's doing some good in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there's, you know, everyone should be included, right? Like in the conversation, you know, it's yeah, I would imagine for those that are hearing impaired, you know, it's probably the loneliest place on earth, right? Is just there by yourself. You know, so this is yeah, this is great. Vuzix is doing it. But yeah, for the viewers, yeah, go check them out at vuzix.com. You know, apparently from what Adam said, there's something for everybody over there. But Adam, thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, feel free to come back anytime.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And to the viewers, yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Go check out Vuzix, do some research, see how AR and, you know, personal HUDs can really enhance your daily life. And until next time, I'm Chris. See y'all.